The biggest battle we will ever have to face is the battle between you and you. It's the battle of taking your mind to that limit and then breaking through. On the Mindful Experiment podcast, we will share concepts, universal laws, and interviewing individuals who have done just that, who have gone through the dark times and through those moments allowed their light to shine bright. I'm your host, Dr. Vic Manzo, and I want to thank you for listening to the podcast and taking this journey with me as we discover different avenues to break through those limits, expand your reality, and evolve into the person you desire to be. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome. You're listening to The Mindful Experiment. This is our weekly Facebook Live episode. This is an opportunity for you to come join me via Facebook Live on my private Facebook group, Empowered Living with Dr. Vic. We have links in the show notes for you to get connected, to join, and you can join us every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. Central Time, where I will share a concept. You can ask questions, you can comment, you can interact with me as we do this every single week. So in this week's episode, I want to talk a little bit about the filter of the brain, right? And before I get into that, I want to ask you some questions about some experiences you may have had. And most people usually had some sort of an experience like this, where have you ever bought a car and after you go off the lot, all of a sudden you just see your car everywhere, every different color, the different additions they have, upgrades, all that, right? You start to notice it and you're just like, holy cow, I didn't know that many people were driving my car. Or pregnant women, right? Once a woman becomes pregnant, all of a sudden she starts to see more and more pregnant women. Now, has that ever happened to you first? Number two, why does that happen? What's the purpose of, your life was normally doing what it normally did. Nothing changed, right? All you did was purchase a car. All you did is had a shift in life and became pregnant. Now, this happens in a lot of different ways. But it's one of those things where you look at that perspective and all of a sudden it's just, you're starting to see more and more and more of this repetitive process. You're like, wait a minute, I'm seeing something totally different than I've ever experienced, or I didn't experience before. And there is something in your brain that allows for you to see and shift, right? And there's a part of your brain that filters information in and out. It basically what gives you your reality and what allows you to experience and see what happens in your life. Right? Some people, this is known as the RAS, or the reticular activating system, part of the brain. And it's just a big filter. And all it does is your brain is computing millions of bits of information per second coming through, picking up on all this stuff. It's a lot of noise. And so what it does is it pushes all that away and only allows in what you deem valuable. Notice I said what you deem valuable. Now, this is critical, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So when it comes to then understanding or going deeper into, well, man, that makes sense then potentially that if I got a new car, that's going to be valuable to me. So what happens? You start seeing more of it, right? Or I'm pregnant. Now pregnancy and everything about that's very valuable to me. You start to see more of it. This happens with kids. When you have kids, this happens when XYZ. I mean, there's so many, I can go through numerous examples. But the key thing is that something has shifted in your life. You created a value to it. And now all of a sudden your brain is allowing that information to come in and you become more aware of it. And so it's this principle of the RAS that is your master filter system. This is what filters information in and out and only allows in what you deem important. Okay. Now, the cool part about this, to kind of switch this podcast a little bit, is that you program what's valuable to you. You program it, right? Because before you got that new car, that car wasn't that valuable to you, right? Or if you value negativity, all you see is negativity. That's it. There could be 100. Here's an example. There could be an event that happens to 100 people. Let's say 80% of them value seeing negative. It's something that's a hierarchy. It's important to them to see negativity. 80% of those people are going to report a negative report about that event, maybe happening to them, what they saw, X, Y, Z. Let's say the other 20% only see their value as seeing the good out of all things, right? Their important thing is that I want to see what's the value in good, because life has always given me experiences. What's the good going to come out of this? And they know there's something there, and guess what? They find it. That's when they see it. It's like the saying goes, what you seek, you shall find. If you go look, you're gonna find something if you seek deep enough. And it's because the value system, the RAS, is you're programming it to what's important for you. And that's what makes a massive difference in people's life. If you can program your reticular activating system to seek for opportunities instead of problems, to seek for more positivity instead of negativity, to seek for more love in the world versus fear, you will start to see more love. You will start to see more of the beauty, right? It's a filter. It's literally like wearing like tunnel vision, and you're just seeing one thing and you're missing out on all the things in your peripheral vision. And so if you can just expand that awareness a little bit more and program that RAS system a little bit more to expand it out, that, my friends, is when you start to change, shift, and program. And that's why there's people who are out there. You know, I've read a book and it was amazing. And there's only two types of people in the world. And there's people who believe things happen to them, and there's people that believe things happen for them. Now, let's just take belief systems out of the way, and I'm not going to get into the purpose of that and how it trains things, but the belief system will create a value to the RAS system where you'll start to see that. And so if you believe that your things happen to you, and you truly believe that, the RAS will filter only information into the brain that will support your decision, your belief, to allow you to see those things. Just like the opposite is true. If you believe that the universe is here to help support you, and it's here to work for you, and it's here to be there for you for your greatest good, well, the RAS system will only allow that information to filter through that's going to support that idea, that belief system. And now you can see how your stories and your belief systems and so much more construct your reality. And so wherever you are in life, if it's a business, if it's trying to achieve more, have more success, happiness, freedom, whatever the things that you desire, that you want to achieve more in your life, you have to go back and look at beliefs and stories of what you're telling yourself, because that's what you put value to, especially when you add emotions to it. And that will slowly start to program that RAS. And so the more that you're programming this RAS to see things in that perspective of what you desire, the more that experience is going to happen, because the brain, right, RAS has to filter that in, allow it to come through to support you in what you believe and what you deem necessary to be true. And so this is the thing about the filter system. And the beautiful thing that I can share with you guys is you can reprogram it. Now, there's laws and there's ways and there's things that you can do. I know in one of my online courses that I do, we really get in depth in that. And we go very deep into how do you start the reprogramming process? How do you start to shift the filters so that you can start to see things in a different realm? You can start to create more experiences and be able to achieve more of what you desire in your life. It's very simple. The concept is easy. The work is hard, because when it comes to being consistent, showing up every single day, doing the small things and focusing on the foundation, that takes time. And that's why I say it's hard, because it's the consistency part that makes it the more difficult side of things. But this is what you can do every single day to do it. And you do it already. That's the beautiful thing. You do it already. You're just maybe not aware of. Yeah, it's an RAS, and you know the neuroscience has shown that this is what it does. But the beautiful thing about it is that if you can really start to understand how to reprogram that, life becomes easier. You start to follow the path of least resistance. You start to tap more into flow. You start to things become more at ease, because you're easily able to align to what it is you want to experience. And then the universe will provide for you what that is. And that is the beauty. I can't tell you how many times that people do this work, especially working with me. And we do this work because this is what we focus on a lot of. And it's amazing to see the stories that come out. It's amazing to see the shifts. And they're just like, I haven't really done much. And I'm going, you have, you're not aware of the shift that you're doing. And you're not aware of that flow because you shifted the filter. And now you have new information coming in, which is going to help support whatever it is that you deem valuable. Remember that. It's what you program, because the RAS only brings in what you value, right? And so it's one of those things that you can really start to wrap your head around this, and you can really start to see it in many facets of life. Doesn't matter if it's in business, marriage, relationships, family, social, economic, careers, you name it. This all plays the same role. And it's how you view things is really going to make that difference. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you have an amazing Tuesday. If you have any questions, or if you want to reach out, you have information, or curious to know some more, or something that you didn't get a chance to do on the Facebook Live, if you're not here, shoot me an email, drvic@empoweryourla.com. Always here to help and serve. But any questions, keep rocking and rolling. We meet every Tuesday, 7 a.m. Central Time, here on my Facebook group, Empowered Living with Dr. Vic. The link is in the show notes. You can check it out there. And as always, appreciate you guys. Until next time, keep rocking and rolling. Thank you for listening to the podcast. For past shows, please visit www.empoweryourreality.com. I hope this show inspired you and added to your life to help you on the journey to rediscover who you really are. To connect with us on Facebook, please visit www.facebook.com/Dr. Vic Manzo. Check us out on Twitter. The handle is Dr. Vic21. Follow us on Instagram, www.instagram.com/Dr. Vic Manzo. If you were inspired by the podcast, pay it forward by sharing it with someone who you know can benefit from it. Thank you again for listening to the Mindful Experiment podcast, sharing paths to help you rediscover your infinite potential.